in Week 14. Marcus, you start us off with the quarterback. Who's your QB1?
I'm going to go with Jalen Hurts. The Philadelphia Eagles, they're coming off a big win this past week over the Baltimore Ravens. The offense is rolling along, and got a great matchup against the Carolina Panthers. Now, for Hurts, I think this week, if he does get it done like this, it might be more with his legs than with his arms. He's actually had fewer than 240 passing yards in 7 straight games, but he is second in the NFL in rushing touchdowns, leads the league in goal line carries, going against the Carolina defense that has given up the 3rd most rushing touchdowns in the NFL. So I could see certainly this is a thing where the Eagles lean heavily on the ground game, especially if they get a lead in the second half, which you reasonably can't expect. You just see them sort of grind out the clock.
You know what? I'm going to go with this guy named Caleb Williams, who is going to be the quarterback one this week. He's had at least 26 fantasy points in back-to-back games. The passing yards have been improving. The touchdown passes are there. He's making a great connection, not only with DJ Moore, but also Keenan Allen. And in a situation against the San Francisco 49ers, when you thought at the beginning of the year this was going to be a tough one for the Bears, but when you look at how the 49ers have been beset by injuries this season, this is a huge opportunity for not only Caleb Williams, but the Bears to go out there and make a statement, not only to their fans, but also Kyle Shanahan to be like, hey, if they don't appreciate you in San Francisco, you can have a home in Chicago. That's what we're looking at. So Caleb Williams will be the quarterback one this week.
Ranked coach flirting counters currently sitting at 2.
I can tamper.
He can tamper all he wants.
So coming into the season, we thought things were going to be rough for the New York Giants. Turns out we were correct. I think it will be a rough one going up against Alvin Kamara, who will be my running back one, as the Giants giving up the 2nd most fantasy points to running backs in the past 4 weeks. And Alvin Kamara, of course, a tough situation for the Saints, losing Taysom Hill for the remainder of the season. But I think it provides more opportunities for Alvin Kamara in an offense where there's not a lot of opportunities to go around with all of the injuries that they've had to deal with. Chris Olave, Rashid Shaheed. They're going to lean on 41, and I think that's a good idea. I think he's your RB1.
So remember when I said the Eagles likely to run the ball a lot against the Carolina Panthers? So why not give Saquon Barkley a shot to be the RB1? 3 top 2 weekly finishes over the last 5 weeks for Saquon. Since week 9, he's been great all year long, but since week 9, sort of next level, averaging 28.3 fantasy points per game. The Carolina Panthers continue to be the best possible matchup for running backs, most rush yards allowed to the position. Saquon has been great all year. Now you give him a tasty matchup. It's hard to see him not having another fantastic fantasy game.
All right, let's go to wide receivers, Rank. Who's your wide receiver one?
I'm going to go with Justin Jefferson. He's had 5 games with at least 20-plus fantasy points this season. It's tied for the 2nd most amongst wide receivers. 9 games with at least 8 targets. The only thing is over the last couple of weeks, I've seen a lot of T.J. Hawkinson, Johnny Munt, Jordan Addison. We need the Justin Jefferson, correction game. I get it. Sam Darnold, you've done a great job of winning games. I love what Kevin O'Connell has done there with this team. That's amazing. You have the Falcons. Not a great defensive matchup. They've allowed the 3rd most fantasy points per game to wide receivers over the last 4 weeks. Not a good matchup for the Falcons. It's great for the Vikings. Make Justin Jefferson happy. Every once in a while, you got to give your star player a little nudge. I know this from coaching AYSO soccer. Every once in a while, you can kind of neglect your great players. You're like, oh, wait, we got to get Abba-Zaba the ball here. And then you let her go out there and do her thing. That's what the Vikings have to do with Justin Jefferson.
One team that has not been neglecting a great player is the Philadelphia Eagles. And Marcus mentioned the matchup in the run game against the Carolina Panthers. A.J. Brown, a great matchup against any defense. He's got 11 receptions or 20 or more yards since week 6. That's 3rd in the NFL. And the Panthers allowing the most points in franchise history per game, 30.5. Yes, it's a great matchup for the ground game. Maybe they devote more resources to stopping the NFL's leading rusher with a historically bad rushing defense, and it leads to number 11 running down the field. So those are our picks for the top performers